All right, guys. Movie news.
I have a question. I have a news thing. So yesterday, a fourth trailer for The Dark Knight Rises, and I just have one question to ask. Really?
Really trailered out on that thing.
I mean, I want to see it. Don't get me wrong.
Just
but
see it already.
One
trailer.
You don't even need a trailer. Everyone wants to see it. You don't need.
Why are they doing that?
I don't know.
I think this is my thing though. It's a recycled. I mean, when you have 4 trailers, the chances are it's gonna one of them is gonna have to be recycled footage, and this one definitely. Is this like about 4 trailers for this? I could understand if this was a movie no one had ever heard of, with not big name actors or anything, and not based on a popular character for the last century or so. But really, 4 trailers for The Dark Knight Rises?
I don't know. I don't know if they feel endangered by or threatened by the Avengers. I don't know if they feel competition.
I think it's in one way, a different beast. But the interesting thing about the Avengers is that there's this director's cut that I guess is going to come out later this summer.
Yeah, they're trying to catch up to Cameron's first and second spot. You know what? But even if it were a Harry Potter or a romantic comedy, if a movie opened up the month before they come out and it became the 3rd biggest movie of all time, they would feel competitive with it. So I'm
sure they would, and I mean it has every right to, in one sense, because I mean there is no such thing as a sure thing. I would have ventured the Avengers would have done well, but not this well. That's surprising. I mean. That's really surprising. Number 3 film of all time.
Is it up to being the third biggest film of all time now?
Yes.
Not adjusted for inflation, but just by today's
No. I mean, Avatar and Titanic aren't the biggest of all time adjusted for inflation. But, and I think
no, that's not true. Adjusted for inflation,
it's still Gone with the
Wind is still number 1.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
You said Avatar and...
I said not even Avatar and Titanic are the biggest of all time when adjusted for inflation.
But I guess my point is this. I remember, the summer of '83, and they're still showing ads on TV. This is like a month or 2 months after Return of the Jedi came out. My brother's like, do people really need to know that it's still playing? It's going to play all summer. It's going to make a lot of money.
That was when movies lasted, too. I mean, we're always used to seeing. I mean, they always come out with for big movies. They come out with multiple kind of versions of TV commercials.
Well,
but the thing about
thing
about A Dark Knight Rises, they release all those TV spots online, and people click them. And then you have 4 different theatrical trailers, and each of them kind of has a different music score, and they want to express. They want to express a different aspect of the movie. So the aspect of this movie, they said of this past trailer, they said was Batman is angry. That was like the theme of the 4th one.
Isn't he always angry? Or
well, no.
He's not that joyous Batman.
The trailer before this, though, you get the feeling that he's because in this one he says, "I'm not scared, I'm angry." And in the last trailer, it's very ominous that, oh shit, he might not make it.
Yeah, and I don't think he will. I had another conversation the other night with our friend Patrick, a great friend of mine, a great friend of the show. But he was like, he's been showing his children the Batman movies. I think he showed them Batman Begins, and he said, to his kid, he was like, Jamie thinks Batman's going to die in the next one.
That's great. Positive influence.
I can imagine it was almost like I killed Santa Claus or something, But anyway.
Yeah, but it caught me really. We have 4 trailers. We got less than a month. I mean, exactly a month ago. I mean, it just seems like one of those things. If there is a sure thing this year.
There's the definite balance between generating I gotta see it factor with enough already. Building a buzz and then killing it.
They did this also to a lesser extent with the last one though too. I mean, but not as. I mean, I guess because this is it. This is the last Nolan one at least. So we got to go all out.
Yeah, but they'll reboot it. I mean, they're already talking about rebooting Twilight. They are, yeah.
Oh, hell.
But hopefully with like Zach Galifianakis and Lisa Lampanelli in the lead.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. There's a lot of blood to suck in those bodies. Yeah. Okay. Richard Lynch, character actor, he passed away. It was announced late last night.
Right, that's right.
When I think of Richard Lynch, whether it's fair or not, I think of two movies. One of which was his first movie, which was Scarecrow. He was the one that raped and beat up Al Pacino in prison.
Okay,
I mean,
that's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
What a way to start your career, right there. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And then the other movie I think of is Invasion USA.
Yeah. Oh my God, I've seen both of these. Okay. Wow.
Oh come on, 80s cheese? You cannot get better than
Invasion USA. That scene where they blow up all the houses in the neighborhood, with the rocket launcher. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Little Nikita, he was in that.
Oh.
Remember that one?
Mhm.
The Ninth Configuration.
I remember. God, Jamie, I've seen all these. This is very frightening. We could
Sword
do
and
a
Sorcerer.
Yeah.
No. Now what, Dean?
Was Little Nikita the thing with River Phoenix?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Sidney Poitier.
Right.
Anyway.
Susan Terrell passed away,
yeah,
too.
Susan Terrell from Fat City. I mean.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
And another great cult movie actress.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on from death to resurrection. I try to make any segue I possibly can for this piece of movie news.
Okay.
Kenneth Ortega's movie Margaret. I mean, that was a real bumpy ride, years in the making to just get to like 2 or 3 screens. But one of the biggest critically acclaimed films of last year. Just nobody got to see it. The director's cut releases in 3 weeks on Blu-ray.
I will definitely rent it.
Incredibly excited
I definitely
by
want
that.
to see it. I mean, I figured I'd wait for that to come out.
That's a movie. That's one of those rare movies that I'm like, I'm going to buy it immediately without even having seen it, because I'm going to buy it. I think it's going to be fantastic.
The Daily Beast came out with their best movies of 2012 so far.
Yeah, tell us what those are. I was very curious. I didn't bother clicking on it. Tell me.
Some of which have not come our way yet. Beasts of the Southern Wild was a big Sundance hit. It won some awards at
July.
June 27th, limited.
That's pretty much, garnering the sort of winter's bone spot in the, in the year-end
I think you're right.
thing.
You're absolutely right.
And the lead girl in it, who was I think 6 at the time, and I can't pronounce her name, so don't ask me. But she was I think 6 when they filmed it, so she's 8 now. And but she'll be, if she gets up there, she'll be the youngest person to be nominated for an Oscar. Yeah,
could be.
But they're already talking about that. So
this is not a film, which is a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And he was arrested. The filmmaker was arrested in March of 2010 for making this movie. They said it was for creating propaganda against the Iranian government.
Mm.
It takes place all in his apartment, right?
Sentenced to 6 years in prison and a 20-year filmmaking ban.
Wow.
Fascinating glimpse into the life of an Iranian enemy of the state. It was this is the movie that was smuggled from Iran to Cannes Film Festival inside a flash drive. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I mean, I just missed seeing it at the New York Film Festival. But it did play last year at the New York Film Festival.
I mean, this is one of those stories where you really think, thank God we live in the U.S.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, absolutely.
We complain here and there about,
We forget that because their revolution failed that they had after that election. We forget that, it is hard. I mean, while there's a lot of great films that have come out of there in the last 20 years, but we forget it is a dictatorship. We forget that sometimes, but this is a stark reminder about that.
Yeah. Bernie is among their best films of 2012 so far.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With
all right. I mean, sure, why not? I liked it, but I can't say it was the best.
Weird. It doesn't seem to be playing anywhere around Atlanta.
I'm surprised. I thought that would be. Atlanta's a big market. I thought it would be there.
I mean, it's playing here in Tampa.
But sometimes things like blow in here and blow out like in a week.
I know.
Like,
that happens here too.
I dated a girl from Atlanta that did that.
Margaret made it here to the Terra Cinema here, but literally was only here for a week.
Yeah. Movie called Elena.
That came and went here for a week too.
Russian film.
What is that? I don't know anything about that one.
What is that Kate Nelligan movie? Is that also called Elena? From the 80s.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Your Sister. One of the top of the year.
That was a good movie. I like that movie.
That's a Lynn Shelton movie.
Yeah, it is. That's all I kept saying during the movie. Hey, we interviewed her.
Did we really? We
did.
Now what is that? What is that?
Pub Day. You're right.
Yeah, Jamie. Oh my God! All right, now you're as bad as my mom.
Dude, I've talked to 600 people. I lose track.
And it's all been over the phone.
It's got the Everyman in it. Mark Duplass is just in everything now. Like Safety Not Guaranteed, Darling Companion, and
the Catherine Bigelow movie. He's in that.
Yeah, he's in. I mean,
that's garnering a whole shitstorm of controversy in itself. And that doesn't come out until December, and that's generating controversy because this is about the decade or more hunt for Bin Laden, or how Clinton went after him and just missed him, and then how it kind of carried over from presidency to presidency.
Right.
So it spans a big amount of time. This is Catherine Bigelow's next movie, and obviously it comes out in December, so it's they won awards consideration for it. But it's receiving controversy because they consulted the government about the content of the movie, and they're talking about did they divulge secretive stuff? I mean, they even say that they talked to the leader of the group that went in to kill Bin Laden.
Right. It's this whole thing the last couple of weeks between that and the other leaks that are coming out. It just doesn't bode well for anybody. I mean, this David Sanger book that just tons of stuff that someone called. I think it was Peggy Noonan called it. Whoever is in charge is a chatty Cathy. I mean, so it's amazing that we would not think of that. Like 20, 30 years ago, if this guy, no one would have been like eager to share any of this stuff, and it's just weird that all of a sudden it's like boom, everyone's talking. It's so weird. But that's December too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, why the hell with it? The Dark Knight. Everything should just be pushed back to December.
There's also this. Weinstein just bought a movie about the killing of Bin Laden, and he's trying to preempt the Bigelow picture with it.
Oh God! Well, this should make for an exciting sideline story. I mean,
yeah. Another one of their best movies of 2012, Jiro, I guess, or Hero, Dreams of Sushi.
Yeah, everyone's raving.
Oh yeah,
I want to see that. I definitely want to see that.
Chronicles Ono's quest to create the perfect piece of sushi.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it.
And it's a documentary, right?
Yeah, it's a documentary. Yeah.
Dear God, I hope so. I mean, I've been waiting for a movie to deal with that subject.
I get the enthusiasm in your voice, Jamie. It's just
any movie involving fish, I'm on board, especially if it's a documentary. The Amazing Spider-Man is on their list.
Yeah, so they've seen this. So unlike Sony, they like the movie. Okay.
Yeah. European critics have seen it because it's released. It's premiered overseas. I think it's actually released there on Friday, or maybe already it's released. Maybe released there today.
Maybe.
I think that's one of those movies they're getting earlier than we are. I mean, it's kind of the perk that they get for having bad teeth.
Well, they have that, and also just because everything's going down the tubes there, so we'll give them Spider-Man, throw him a bone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten largely mixed reviews, but there have been some positives about it. I mean, no one's really taken massive offense to it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if there's anything that can be said, it's just that it just seems so soon to do a reboot. It just seems so utterly. It just seems like they started in 2002, 10 years ago, with it, and to go ahead and reboot it after just like 8 years just was kind of seems silly. But we'll see. Maybe it's good.
The Cabin in the Woods is on their list.
Oh, good for them. Great movie.
So that's 3 people. Okay. Dean and the Daily Beast.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love that movie. Fantastic.
Yeah. All right. And the documentary Undefeated is on their list. I never get to see that.
No, I never got to see that either.
I still haven't seen that either.
That was the best documentary winner last year.
Yeah, it was the only one of the 5 that I hadn't seen up to the award.
A surprise. I mean, I thought it was a surprise win, but then, then I thought, well, why did I think that? Weinstein owns it, and finally, and this is a great segue into our closing interview tonight, actually. I did expect that. Their final best movie of 2012 so far, 21 Jump Street.
Oh.
Huh. Okay.
I would throw that. I would also throw The Gray and Moonrise Kingdom in there, but that's just me.
Because
I would put in Once Upon a Time in Anatolia and Kid on the Bike.
I'd love to. Yeah, I want to see those. Yeah, definitely.
And Haywire.
Oh yeah, definitely Haywire. Yeah.
And Rock of Ages too.
Zero Dreams of Sushi and Rock of Ages side by side.
That's a double feature for you.
Yeah. 21 Jump Street. We're about to play our interview with the director of 21 Jump Street. He's among the filmmakers that are in this conversation. I like 21 Jump Street. That's probably the most I've laughed so far this year.
Yeah. Definitely.
Did you see the Paul Thomas Anderson trailer?
Yes.
The Master.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And this is October. Please tell me it's not December. Please tell me it's October.
I think it's October.
No, it is October.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Okay, okay. Thank God. All right.
Now that's a movie that becomes, it's almost the opposite of The Dark Knight. It becomes more intriguing. These 2 trailers we've seen of it within 2 weeks' time, But do you think it's going to be controversial?
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to shut it down, and, Megan Ellison saved the day, and then,
But I guess I should refine my question, because controversial within, the upper rankings of Scientology, yeah. But does that matter to Joe Somebody?
No,
it doesn't matter to Joe Somebody.
But I do think that there's a large percentage of the population, that has very much a lot of curiosity about that religion and what goes on in it.
It could be really amazing. But Tom Cruise has seen it. He objects to some content in it, and I guess he's still going to show it to Travolta, but. I don't think any of those opinions.
Travolta can say anything right now, but he probably just asks, can the guy, where's your masseuse?
He's been on the promotional front for Savages. He's been doing interviews and stuff.
I look forward to. I really want to see that.
Yeah. They said, "Hey, you want to do some interviews for Savages?" And he says, "Aye, where's the rub?" Anyway. Yeah. Hey, we'll be back Sunday with Virginia Madsen, sorry.
Madsen, yeah.
What is she? So you've interviewed the brother, now you've interviewed the sister. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What is she on for? What is she promoting?
She was very friendly. Her movie's called The Magic of Belle Isle, and I watched this thing last night.
It's on demand, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It's a really lovely, delicate sentimental movie. I mean, I really fell in love with it. It's she and Morgan Freeman. It's directed by Rob Reiner. It's a good film. So it's now available on demand. She'll be on Sunday to talk about it.
Awesome.
And then, yeah.
When are we doing the sequels show?
Sequels?
Yeah.
All movies that deserve
sequels. Our movies that deserve sequels.
Okay, we'll make that.
I did a lot of research. I actually want to watch the film on VHS. I hooked up the VHS to work on this show.
Yeah, we do need to do that.
I've been working on my list pretty steadily.
I haven't been doing anything for it, but the show right before our July 1st, our William Friedkin show, that would be the 28th, Wednesday the 28th.
Mm-hmm. That would be a week from tonight. I mean,
27th. Okay, we'll do it then.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to do it. I keep coming up with these, so I was just going to do it like once a week. I'd name a movie or something.
Yeah. And maybe if the show's really good, maybe we'll consider doing a sequel to it. Was this sequel or remake?
Sequel. It was because I opened my big bloody mouth about 5 Easy Pieces. That's why this all came about. And do you know where it comes from? Do you know where this whole idea came from? Siskel and Ebert's review of The Godfather Part 3, where they said it's just really good to see these characters again. That's where this all came from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's where this all came from. I just want that on the record. So in case anyone wants to throw something at my house, they can.
Was it good to see those characters again in Texas?
I'm sure it's a line we'll be repeating ad nauseum next week.
I'm going to shut up next week about that. But that's where this all came from, though, because I was like, oh yeah, you're right, guys. It really is. It's great. I'm
wondering though if Siskel and Ebert actually repeated their mantra when they when they reviewed Texasville. Yeah.
No, they probably said, you know, these characters to make Dwayne's depressed. So
Bogdanovich just signed on for a new movie.
What movie?
You would ask.
Yes, I would.
It's something starring Tom Sizemore. It's about a porn king or something, I think.
Wow. Okay.
Lots of people like exploring the world of porn in one fashion or another.
And no one did it better than P.T. Anderson and Boogie Nights.
Right. I mean, Bogdanovich isn't the first person I think of when I think porn, but even though Bogdanovich does sound like a nickname for something you do to your partner in bed.
Hey, I'm going to Bogdanovich you.
And he was married to Dorothy Stratton, don't forget,
right.
and is now married to her sister. So
I'm so proud of that joke. But Paul Schrader and Bret Easton Ellis just cast a porn actor opposite Lindsay Lohan.
This is The Canyons, right?
Yeah, The Canyons. And I think Lindsay Lohan's playing the Canyon. I'm not sure.
This is a movie, I think these guys were meant to work with each other. They were meant to work with each other. This is really, that's going to be a crazy set. The two of them, oh my God. It's
going to be good.
I think I'm looking forward to it.
Financed in part by Kickstarter. I mean, they did a successful. I think they raised something like $150,000 or something. So it's be an interesting production. And Paul Schrader, even years ago when we talked to him, he was very open to
he was a cell phone.
Redefine what films are.
Yeah.
So Paul Schrader, Bret Easton Ellis, Peter Bogdanovich. I think that's what his movie's about. I'm not absolutely certain though. And then Octomom. I mean, it's all over the place.
And then you have the two competing the Linda Lovelace movies too.
Oh right, yes. So
what was that movie that came out last year that was also about the beginning of the internet porn industry? Yes,
I do. Oh God, I saw. It's with Luke Wilson. It's actually a very entertaining movie, but I don't.
Company Men or not Company Men?
Yes, I think it is Company Men.
Company Men is Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
No, that's Kevin Costner. That's the after effect. You stay home and watch porn because you can't get a job.
It's something Men.
Middlemen.
Okay.
Middlemen, yeah. Okay.
That's a very entertaining movie, yeah.